I confronted him about it, and he said, you know, why do you protect this no good nigger piece of shit? And I said, now I know what the problem is.
Those who do nothing are inviting shame as well as violence. Those who act boldly are recognizing right as well as reality. This is one country. It has become one country because all of us and all the people who came here had an equal chance to develop their talent. We cannot say to 10% of the population that you can't have that right.
In the end, what it was about is I wouldn't allow this lieutenant to punish this black firefighter. And that was the beginning of an unending 15 years of constant escalating retaliation. And for the firefighter, what he had to endure, it's unbelievable.
I broke my leg, and my leg was not healing properly, but I was told by the fire department medical examiner that I was getting better, but in reality, I was getting worse. And then I started being harassed because the deputy of personnel wanted to get rid of sick and injured firefighters, because the harassment that went on at headquarters was unbelievable.
Absolutely. I can remember the current union president, when he first came on the job, he used to give me a ride part of the way home. And the first thing he did was light a marijuana cigarette as soon as we got around the corner from the firehouse.
Drug and alcohol was there since day one that I got on the job. Well, they had alcohol in the firehouses, well, whether it's in the Pepsi machines or they bring it in or somehow, but there was alcohol. Also, when we got on assignments to the firehouses, I noticed that I wasn't well welcomed into the firehouse.
My name is Richard McLaughlin. I became a firefighter in 1978. I was assigned to Engine 36 in Charlestown, which is no more in commission. And I learned all the aspects of being an engine man. But in training, we learned to be ladderman and engineman. So I learned to be qualified to do both, working in Charlestown. I broke my leg, and my leg was not healing properly, but I was told by the fire department medical examiner that I was getting better, but in reality, I was getting worse. 1998 or 1997. And then I started being harassed because the deputy of personnel wanted to get rid of sick and injured firefighters. And then not only me, but they harassed many firefighters. They were forcing us out by sending us to a medical examiner that wasn't qualified to examine us. They harassed me. They harassed me so much that even when I went to a doctor, and the doctor found that I did have a leg problem, they told the doctor not to examine me anymore. The medical examiner did not want to have me listed as being really hurt, so they could bring me back and put me on sick leave and make me be harassed up at headquarters, because the harassment that went on at headquarters was unbelievable. The nurse and the medical examiner harassed firefighters on a constant basis. We were ordered to come into the medical office once a week to be harassed, and they would tell us that either go back to work or file your retirement papers, because they wanted us to retire because younger people would come on and make less money. And by making false reports on my medical record, which is documented. There's one date on my medical record that will even say that the medical examiner lied. And once I said that the medical examiner lied, they harassed me more for retaliation. They wrote me up for R1 for saying that the doctor lied, and I could prove the doctor lied because I still have a disability to today. And this is 2013, and this happened in 1998. I took beating on retirement. I was forced to retire. I lost 28%, plus I lost other benefits as a firefighter. And I don't think any other firefighter should have to go through what I went through with the Boston Fire Department and how they treat firefighters. If you're being forced to retire, you should receive a 100% disability and 100% pay. You should not lose 28%, especially after I broke my leg in a City of Boston building.
My name's Jimmy Berlo. I retired from the Boston Fire Department involuntarily about 2 years ago, January 14th, literally at the point of a gun. I became a Boston firefighter in late October 1987. I always wanted to be a fireman. I gave up a job as a journeyman union carpenter to pay nearly double that. And when I had become a lieutenant, I went to East Boston District 1, which was considered a dumping ground. I had a firefighter on my company, good kid, good worker, and this lieutenant, not even on the company, across the floor, apparently had a vendetta against this kid. He was trying to abuse his authority and the department rules and regulations to retaliate against the kid. I heard him he'd come in off duty, make disparaging comments about this kid. Then I was hearing stories that he was trying to make a missile run, anything that could be a major chargeable offense. I confronted him about it, and he said, you know, why do you protect this no good nigger piece of shit? And I said, now I know what the problem is. I was the acting captain, besides, he was my firefighter. I said, that's the end of it. Be thankful that he doesn't pursue this outside the job. His justification for this was that Garcia, they were playing basketball in the schoolyard behind the firehouse. Apparently Garcia outplayed him, and he said he gave him a look. And this incensed him so much. And this lieutenant was known as an incompetent, a coward. And personally, I know he's a thief as far as house supplies. Extremely selfish, and always evading his duties. But he devoted so much effort to pursuing this kid. It was crazy. And even though he had a reputation for this, they backed him over the firefighter. But I thought I'd dispense with the issue. What it was, the district chief for our group in East Boston was known as a gross incompetence, and apparently that this lieutenant went to him saying that I was preventing this firefighter from being disciplined for a legitimate rule infraction, and that showed disrespect towards this district chief via me. So he sought out a way. He was looking for an incident that he could either provoke or a justification for imposing his authority and initiate disciplinary action against me. They come in the daytime to pick up the alcohol and papers. At nighttime, they come to pick up the, drop off the incoming papers. It was a Sunday morning. We came in as usual. An off-duty firefighter came with some flyers. We're talking, continue our conversation. District chief walked over and said to the off-duty firefighter, give him another one. And I couldn't, and the firefighter became nervous. I said, no thank you, I don't want one. Then he turns around and yells at me, you just got an oral warning, mister. Give him another one. He yells at the firefighter, off-duty firefighter. I said, no, it's okay. So just leave. You're not in any trouble. And he started screaming at me, you know, you just got yourself a written reprimand. You know the next step, mister. I said, chief, I'd be in violation of 3 rules and regulations, and you can't order me to do something personal or arbitrary like that. Started screaming, going berserk like you did at incidents. But I was going to go on charges. Contacted the union president at the time. He said, absolutely not, they cannot do that. The deputy called me over. The union president told me I shouldn't go without any union representation, but I thought even when the deputy heard it, they'd dispense with it. We go upstairs. The deputy ordered me to explain what happened. I did. The district chief kept interrupting, saying it was a liar. Then finally, when the district chief was caught in a blatant lie, he jumped up and tried to strangle me. The deputy chief had to restrain him by the arm and the necktie. So you'd think that would be the end of it. And following evening, I had to go to the union president, meet with the deputy. The union president told me to leave. Came out, he said, that's the end of it, don't talk about it. 8 days later, I find out that I've been suspended without a hearing for a week. Yeah, and in the end, what it was about is I wouldn't allow this lieutenant to punish this black firefighter. And that was the beginning of an unending 15 years of constant escalating retaliation. And for the firefighter, what he had to endure, it's unbelievable. And it was, I'm here today because he's not the only story, or me, that's so pervasive, you know, the culture of this department and the blatant corruption, which has actually cost people lives, civilians and firefighters.